Okay, this is Raving Rendell of Finite Exposure, and I want to kind of give I'm not sure if you call it thoughts as much as like an addendum to Gamebreaker TV's 101st episode of This Week in MMO. And by addendum, I mean, it's not so much thoughts on the show. The show was pretty good. The show was Wildstar, very fan heavy, and that's fine. I've seen Wildstar. It looks like a very fun game. I'd like to try it myself. But there are a couple of very glaring things missing from this week. First off, the Secret World officially goes. Well, yeah, the Secret World will have launched by the time they are done. I think it's a 4-day free to play. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, they'll be open, and Secret World is Wednesday, so yeah, they should have at least mentioned that the early access is going on tomorrow. Or not tomorrow, Friday. That's going to be within their week of news. They really should have mentioned that. Instead, all we got was, and this is a good topic, I'm not saying it isn't, is them talking about TSW's rates for the UK. I don't I don't get it, but and I'm not saying it isn't a bad thing, but I could have sworn that they talked about that already, so it's yeah, I don't know. But yeah, the Secret World is going to be launched. A lot of chatter in the chat about, well, aside from the fact that it was basically a volley between Guild Wars 2 sucks, no Secret Wars sucks, fuck you, they both suck, and that's yeah. But what, and I'll get back to that in a minute. The other thing they left off, and a few people were like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Dungeons and Dragons Online, known as DDO, is, in fact, I just got the email while I was watching that, what is it called? I want to remember the expansion name so I don't get it wrong. There we go. Menace of the Underdark is now available. Basically, for everybody who was a fan of the Forgotten Realms series with Loth and the Driders and the Drow and was it Drizzt or Drizzle or some weird name like that. But that is official. That is their first expansion in 7 years. That's pretty damn good. So, but no mention. So, shame on you, Gamebreaker. I know that you have your fanboy attitudes about a lot of games, but we've seen, especially after E3, we saw 2-hour shows. We saw 2.5-hour shows. Ain't nobody gonna be complaining if you do a little extra, like an extra 10 minutes to talk on something. Believe me, we won't mind. But we'll sure as heck take you to the barn if you forget about something important. Like, say the first expansion for a game that's 7 years old and hasn't needed it. They don't really need it yet, but they're doing it. So, anyway, the other thing is, and this is the thing that gets me, is everybody was talking about. Well, this is something that they did talk about during the Secret World, is going free to play. They think the Secret World will go free to play, and of course, the big whoop-de-doo for quite a while was the joke about Star Wars The Old Republic going free to play. Well, what many people seem to forget, sorry, I had to bring up my player so I knew how much time I was recording. What many people seem to forget is that there's subscription, or what we call pay to play. There's B2P, which is buy to play, which is going to be what Guild Wars is, where you purchase the box, but then there's no subscription. There's free to play, which is what it says. It's usually a web game like Dungeons and Dragons. or The Perfect World. A lot of their games are free to play. Requiem is free to play. I don't think they have a subscription. Anyway, the fourth one that everybody forgets is what we call pay free to play. Now this would be DDO and Dungeons and Dragons Online and DC Universe Online are two of the best examples, and they're the best because they're so different in how they approach it. Excuse me. DDO, if you're a free player, you can play. You can play 4 races, I think, and 4 races and 3 role types, I believe. Free. Now, with those, you can go the whole way through the game. You are not being, penalized for. And they did very long time ago when they first started. I played it, and the way that they did it was I think it was only $10 a month. It wasn't a very big subscription. But if you didn't want to subscribe, then what you did was, like, every so often you got DDO coins for leveling up and for, like, completing quest chains or whatnot. Well, then you went to the store, and let's say that the cap for free to play was level 10. Well, you go to the store, and all this hoo-ha, you've collected 10 DDO coins. Well, just by accident, there would be a thing that you could purchase for 10 DDO coins that would let you go to level 15 or level 20. And of course, in that amount of time, you'd get up so you were kind of paying to play it, even though you were playing it for free, because you were going on their cash shop. It was the precursor to what League of Legends has done, where you go and you earn currency that can be used to progress the game in various ways. In League of Legends, it's cash shop, or it's skins to change your hero appearance, or new heroes. You can get them, or you can get new heroes. I think the only way you can get skins is through actually paying cash, but you can get more people to play with just by playing the game. DCUO has it different. DCUO, if you're free to play, you're free to play. Now, you don't get as many character slots or whatnot, maybe. But you are not hampered in any way, shape, or form by gameplay. An expansion comes out, pay $10 for the expansion, all that is automatically unlocked. Again, with the same account type restrictions. I think it's like free to play. Before they went that way, I think you can have 4 characters, and free to play, if you were a subscriber, they call it a legendary account, I think, or something like that. You get 6 characters, and you get slightly better stuff. And then there's pay to play, which it's nothing big, You can maybe put up a couple of more auctions. You can have a couple of more characters that you make. It's mostly just minor tweaks to the game, but you can go from A to Z with no hampering. Now, if you're not a pay to play, you have to purchase the expansions or the patches. But like I said, they're $10 a piece. And they're downloaded right when they come out, whether you get it or not. They're part of the thing. So all you're doing is unlocking it. Since they don't have any expansions, you're basically paying for a patch. The level cap stays the same. I'm not quite sure what the level cap of DCUO is, but the level cap is not changing. So if you get to, let's say it's 60, okay, you just got DCUO Free to play, you make it up to 60 on your character. Well, now you want to buy one of the expansions, and there are 4 out right now, or patches, or whatever you want to call them. Well, you go and do that, then you can walk right over to it. I don't think that you need to get them in order. I don't think so. I know in Warcraft you need to get them in order, but Warcraft you need to get them in order because Classic was 0 to 60. Burning Crusade 60 to 70. Wrath of the Lich King 70 to 80. Cataclysm, for some stupid reason, 80 to 85, and now Mr. Pandaria will be 85 to 90. And who knows, maybe DCUO at some point, they'll come out with an expansion, and they'll say, well, okay, now we're getting up the level cap by 5 or 10 levels, or whatever they want to do. Yeah, I can kind of see that. But I like their idea of just pushing content in patches, and Rift has done this too, where they are pushing out major things to keep people going without telling them. I mean, with Warcraft, again, okay, let's take Cataclysm. We knew who the big baddie was in Cataclysm. We knew that there were going to be dungeons. We knew at the last one we'd be facing the big baddie, which was Deathwing. There was no real surprise there except what was coming between 4.0, which was what the first round of Cata was considered, and 4.3 when Deathwing hit. So in this case, DCUO has 4 things. They've introduced a new hero type every time. One was the Green Lantern. This recent one was Shield. There was one that was electricity for the Flash. I don't think the fourth one, well, the third concurrent in sequence, I don't think it did anything. I think it introduced the Flash and the Green Lantern for PvP arenas, because what you can do there is you can PvP as yourself, but you can also take on, like, you can PvP as Batman or the Joker or whatnot. I think that's where they upgraded there. Anyway, getting back to the point, we've got buy/free to play, which is, I think, the best way to do it. You don't need to go free to play like, well, games that are released free to play, again, like Requiem or the Perfect World games, stuff like that. That's okay if they release free to play. But something like DCUO, which doesn't have much of a cash shop, you know, they're making their money through people who still believe in the game enough to subscribe, which I think is $15 now. Or they're getting it through people when they buy the patches. But games like that were not set up with the start thinking, oh yay, we're going free to play. So now we've got to kind of deal with the fact there are games, and the Secret World is one of them. I know Phony was saying they've got the cash shop, but realistically, if you look at the Secret World's cash shop, you can buy additional character slots, and you can reserve names. Hey, both are good. I reserved my name. I put in, I pre-ordered it, even though my computer will probably melt playing it. I literally had no graphics, and and the GPU was still maxed. But it's a fun game, and it pushes me to upgrade my computer when I can afford it. Anyway, what I would like to do is see the Secret World. I think Age of Conan is free to play now, but I believe you can still pay a subscription for that too. If they're going to go buy free to play, what they need to do is what Champions Online did. Champions Online did it the best way they possibly could. Champions Online started out with a cash shop where you bought basically costumes. You could have like horns, you could be a devil, you could be a jester. And these were all, granted, bind on accounts. But they kept coming out with new stuff like steampunk. And they came out with new roles, new ways that you could play the game. And they weren't that bad. There were 990 cryptic points, I think. It's cryptic that does it now. I can't remember. It's been a very long time since I played Champions Online. And I'd love to, except I ran into a very strange graphical error that just killed the game for me. Saying that, to solve your curiosity, I played it on a laptop and I played it fine. Well, when they went free to play, all the background, all the stuff was good, except my character was pixelated horribly. If any of you have seen Lawnmower Man, where he zaps people and they become just a whole bunch of floating bubbles, imagine that with squares. That's what my character's been looking like. All the rest of it is fine. Everything else is perfect except that part. And I don't know. It's been, like I said, it's been well over a year since I tried. So maybe I should patch up and see if they fix that. That'd be certainly nice. But it's just things like that. If it weren't for that thing, yeah, hell yeah, I'd be playing Champions Online. They've got a very good game, and they've got a great cash shop. So, oh yeah, that's right. We can go over 15 minutes now. Okay, so, well, that doesn't mean we are going to, and it's 10 o'clock, so I need to cue off. What do you folks think, though, about buy free-to-play? I mean, I've already said, World of Warcraft will never go free-to-play. I can see them joining DCUO and DDO and games like that. They're buy free-to-play, where you have your choice of playing the game through to the end as either a subscription or a free player. I would hope that Warcraft would do what DCO does, in the fact that if you're going out and physically paying for the expansions, that you get everything in those expansions and you don't have to like pay for the patches or whatnot. But this is Activision, so you probably will. But yeah, am I just living in the past? I have no problem supporting a game that I like. I never have. And I find it kind of weird that people seem to be jumping on the free-to-play bandwagon and saying, oh, it's going free-to-play, it's failing. Well, no. If it's going free-to-play, it's made its money back, it's secure. Now it's saying you can pay if you want to, and we'll certainly enjoy it if you do. But if you don't, you just want to come in and enjoy the content, that's fine too. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. And hopefully, whether games like The Secret World or, anything that comes after it go free to play, they'll do that. But I still think that there's room. You don't need to be fully subscription, but you don't need to be free to play either. And people like Gamebreaker TV know that, and it just irritates me that they choose to leave that out when they know it's a viable solution. But that's what us little people are for.